friends, welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Raul, and this week I'm going to feature another build of mine here. This is a 1971 Shelby Europa GT500. Very, very rare car and a very unusual car. I was first introduced to it by finding out some decals from Keith Marks offering this car, and I'd never seen one. So at the time, this was back in about 2003, I was Googling and trying to find information out about this car, because I knew Shelby didn't offer cars in '71. Through research and finding out about some of these cars, got a few pictures online, I'm like, I gotta build one of these. So I ordered the decals and got a hold of the kit and went to build this. So this is what I ended up building. So to get back to the cars, in Europe there was a guy by the name of Claude Du Bois, and I hope I'm saying that right, I really don't know. But he was a Ford and Shelby dealer in Belgium from 1966 to 72. So, and he sold like 100, 120, 125 Shelbys through his dealership and all throughout Europe basically. So when Shelby had announced that they were not making cars after 1970, he, in a rush, he got the last of the 70s that he could get his hands on, which I understand was like 35, I read somewhere. He got a hold of 35 70 Shelbys. But he wanted to continue on, as in Europe the muscle car market was picking up and his sales were increasing. So he contacted Shelby and he got a licensing agreement to actually offer Shelbys in Europe. So he came up with these. And they had a couple of different things going on. Now, since Shelby wasn't really doing anything, some of the parts came from Shelby, like the cam, intake, carb. There were parts that were shipped from Shelby. The wheels were aftermarket, ordered through Shelby, but those were all provided, sent. And the cars were ordered through, believe it or not, Bob Ford. He couldn't order the cars directly, so they were ordered through Bob Ford, but some of them were shipped from Bob Ford and some of them were shipped right from Ford to Europe. And it was interesting to find out that, here's where it gets interesting. When I originally was researching this, there was 14 cars supposedly made, but a lot of research and information has come out about these cars since then. There's a site, ponysite.de. I'll put a link in the description below, right to their website, because they got a lot of information and the specific cars and the VINs. So that's pretty cool, and it gets a, because at the time I had thought the GT500 was the big block because the 428 Cobra Jet was available in this car in the States. I guess in Europe it really wasn't that big of a deal. They, the gas guzzlers, they kind of stayed with the 351s. So there were 9 cars that are known. There could possibly be a few more, because originally it was thought there was 14, but there were 2 convertibles and the rest of them were sports roofs or fastbacks. Sports roof is the official Ford name for them. They came with 351s. Now some of them were the stock 351s that was available in the States. A lot of times they put GT350 on those cars, on the stripes here on the side. They also had a 351 HO that they put a hotter cam 4-barrel, and it was rated at 360 horsepower. They put a 780 CFM Holley carburetor on it. One of them at least had a 351 race engine, it said, but they put the GT500 nomenclature on those cars. So even though they were still small blocks, the higher horsepower ones were marked GT500. There is one 428 Cobra Jet one built and shipped there, a white one. It's been missing for years. They know that car was built. It's the only 428 one that's a Shelby Europa. If I'm even saying that part right. It was built and shipped and it's missing, but I believe 7 of the cars are known. There was a couple more 72s that were pretty much debunked, that they're really not Shelby Europas, but they're interesting cars, and they're on that website as well. But there's a lot more information on these cars and where they came from. Both convertibles still exist, owned by the same guy now, which is pretty interesting. And then there's I think 5 more sports roofs that are known. And then the 2 missing cars. There's one that was stolen in '87 and hasn't been seen since. And then the white one's missing. Those are the known VINs. And then there's 2 more that are on the website that are 72s. So I guess it's really only a 71 package. Here's the kit and how I built it. I just went with a Tester's orange and gloss coat and the Keith Mark decals. Now these wheels and tires, the wheels came from my parts bench, my parts boxes. So that's really the only change I did to the kit, other than just painting it and detailing it up. Like I said, I didn't know much. I'd put the 428 in there, or 429 in there. Although it's more of a 428 as far as what's in the kit, which is not accurate. The more you know about this MPC kit, and the more you get to know this subject matter, the more wrong this kit becomes. When I first built it, I liked the body style, I liked the fastback, and I enjoyed building it. I built 3 of these, and I've got a 4th one in my stash. It's actually right here, so I'll zoom the camera out and show you more of the kit contents, although that box is pretty beat up. But I built this one. I put the 429 ram air emblems on the side of the hood. All of the Shelby Europas had functional ram air, and they added the stripes on them, and they were just sports roofs. They weren't Mach 1s, so they should all have the chrome bumper, not the painted bumper. The painted bumper, the rubber bumper, is pretty much a Mach 1 option. And this front end isn't very accurate. It's kind of a mix, even though this is supposed to represent a 71. I did the best I could for what was in the kit, and it should have a spoiler, and then the Shelby Europas would have Marshall or Lucas fog lights. I think Lucas fog lights, most of them have, but it says it could have either ones. But some of the restored cars, the fog lights are missing because they didn't know that they were Shelby items, that they thought they were just added by the customer, you know, throughout its life. But this kind of has the Mach 1. It should have a special gas cap with the Shelby emblem on it. I'll probably maybe fabricate that, because I really want to redo this one, because the more I've learned about the car and inaccurate it is, the more I want to fix it. But I've left it alone. I've kind of resisted the urge. But Kevin at Missing Link, he makes an updated, or at least I think he still offers it, but he had an updated front end. You can cut all this out, put the chrome bumper on it, and an updated insert to put in there. Matter of fact, I've got some, so I'll show them to you. But I enjoyed building this, and I enjoyed the history of the car and the uniqueness of the car, but none of the air grabber parts are under the underside of the hood. Like I said, this engine is more of an FE 428 motor, 427, 428. I think these valve covers I swapped out, but the air grabber and the smog system, none of that stuff's really accurate for this car. And then it's got a fairly nice chassis, fairly simple. But most of this I built pretty much right out of the box, other than, you know, a few of the things, like I put the exhaust tips on there and changed a few things, but not too much. Added the rear spoiler. The car should have the Boss 302 spoiler, or Boss 351 front spoiler, but I don't have that on there. I still love the subject matter, and I'm actually really excited that Revell did some sneak peeks that they're going to be coming out with a more modern tool of this subject, a Mustang. The one they were scanning was a 71 Boss 351, so I'm pretty excited to see that. But I mean, I enjoy building these, but this kit, it's not hard to build. It's actually pretty easy to build. There's some cleanup, typical MPC type stuff. Not horrible. But the more you know about the subject matter and the details, the more wrong this kit actually becomes. But I'm not trashing it. You know, for the longest time, this was the only thing available. So when it comes to, let's zoom this out. You know, here's the kit, and this has been re-released a few times. This is the, you know, Boss 351, 71 Boss 351. This is the same kit I used, but this box has been beat up quite a bit, and it just says resin conversion because I got one of those update kits in there. So I mean, there's the box, but like I said, this one's rough. This was actually traded to me. Somebody really wanted another kit I had and gave me this one, and I'm like, okay, well, didn't have too much of a problem for it. But you know, the basic body, you know, got some sink marks here, but it should have the chrome around the headlights here, and then there's the grill setup. But here's the what Kevin at Missing Link was selling. Let me just pull these parts out. There's his updated front right there. The chrome bumper, I just got it stuck in place. He offers it with the chrome bumper. And then here's the Mach 1 painted bumper that he offers, and it's different. Here's the front spoiler for the Boss 302 or 351. I don't know why I keep saying 302. So I'd like to add this to it. So fits really good, but I should paint that black and add it, but that's the part I want to add to this one. But I'll probably end up redoing all of that. And then the last part is the new lower valance that he offers. It goes under there too. So even without it, his spoiler fits really, really well using the MPC parts. And then there's clear lights in there also. So I think Kevin is still offering these, but the kit itself, it's got a lot of roll cage parts and race parts. And there's some of the small block stuff. There's the FP motor. And I believe it's got some of the Boss 429 parts in here as well. A couple of motors. So there's a ton of parts in here. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the kit. And fairly simple chassis, but not terrible. But you know, it is showing its age, but it's a really old kit. And then there's the chrome, the more of the 73 style, but this is kind of like a 71 grille and 73 headlights, but the headlights are kind of smaller. But there's the FE valve covers, the Boss 429 valve covers. You know, there's a lot of custom parts and a lot of neat stuff in here. And then the wheels, the stock ones, which these are more of the Mach 1 wheels, if I remember right, and then the race wheels, which it's a lot of cool parts in here. But like I said, the more you start to know the actual subject matter, what it's supposed to be as far as a Boss 351, the more wrong you start to realize this kit actually is. But still a good kit and a fun kit. Still kind of a pleasure to build, but it takes a little bit of patience, and it'll test your pre-assembly. But I figured I would show you this one, and you guys might enjoy it as it's a car I really like. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Revell comes out with in the next couple of years when that kit hits the market. Like I said, the Shelby part is very interesting to me, which is one of the reasons why I jumped on this one and I had to show you. And then there's some interesting stories about the man behind the dealership. One of the things that was on the website I thought was interesting was he wanted to race a GT40 for Ford, and he had a dealership, but they kind of blew him off. So according to what I was reading, he bought a Ferrari GTB and he was racing that and entered it. And they didn't like the fact that a Ford dealer and a Shelby dealer was driving a Ferrari and racing a Ferrari. I don't know if he got his wish and got a GT40 or seated in a GT40, but it was interesting reading about that and the stubbornness that goes along with it. But I figured you would enjoy that and enjoy the build. So thank you for subscribing and tuning in. I appreciate it. And your comments are always welcome. And you guys, you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next Saturday.